Yeah, so I've been flying my FPV drones for about 6 months and I've gotten a lot better. And sometimes, even though if I look at my footage from 6 months ago, I still think I haven't even touched the surface of what's possible with FPV drones. And that's exactly why I wanted to make this video, to talk to you about the real FPV journey. About 6 months ago, when I first flew in the simulator, flying FPV seemed like something that was impossible. How do people fly this stuff? I remember myself saying, like, how do these guys even fly this damn thing? Soon after, it clicked in my brain, the muscle memory started working, and I felt okay enough to bring my Avata outside and start flying it in manual mode. And lo and behold, it wasn't all that bad. Now, when I look back at the footage, I was having a lot of trouble steering this thing, but that's, obviously a learning curve that I had to go through. Pretty recently, I've started to do some more advanced freestyle tricks, you might say. So I've actually landed a dolphin dive through very sketchy tree gap. And I was really happy about that because it's the first sort of backwards flying trick that I did. Soon after, I tried a trippy spin and crashed my drone, I think 5 times. This is when it starts getting serious and not so easy anymore. And then a sense of dread set in my stomach. Like, holy moly, if I look at the videos that I see every day online and compare it to where I'm at, knowing that at any moment when I'm practicing these tricks, I can lose a drone that's 500 to 600 euros worth. That set in some fear. And it's exactly that fear that also made me fly very terrible. I can see it back in the stick cam footage. My fingers are shaking. And shaking fingers do not give you precise throttle control that you need to not make your drone crash into the trees. So it's a very bad combination. And it got even worse than that. Even though I managed to recover my Freestyle 3-inch drone, I totally wrecked my Cinewhoop. The one I reserved to do actual cinematic videos with. I went to a little playground with a friend of mine who also has a tiny whoop, and I got better at flying through gaps. So I was pushing the limits, doing power loops over small playground obstacles, and even tried to do a Barani. And then I did a power loop while the wind was brewing, and I flew straight into the actual bar that I was power looping over. And the sudden impact was not so liked by my ESC, so it burned through and one of the motors stopped spinning. I think this is great because now I get to solder a new ESC on my drone, and I also think it kind of sucks because this was exactly the drone I reserved for more cinematic filming. Which brought me back to think about this whole FPV journey. Why did I even start flying drones? Half a year ago, I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I really just had this burning passion of doing something with YouTube for maybe the better part of the last 10 years. And last year, I finally just started it, and I was experimenting with what works and what didn't. And suddenly I started making videos about drones because I really like these little flying camera machines. But mostly I wanted to fly drones to get awesome looking footage. Footage from a weird perspective of things that are awesome, and not footage of me flying the drone in an awesome way in an abandoned building, or lo and behold, another football field on a Wednesday morning when there's no one around. So instead of me just focusing all my time on doing freestyle tricks, I started to look for opportunities to film things that are really cool, like this, where I went and filmed a motorcycle on a sort of gravel road and see if I could fly really close and get, up close and personal with it. And behind me, what I did is there is a steam engine here, and I brought my drone to film the steam engine from above, which I thought looked really cool. So that's where I'm at right now. Does that mean I don't want to do freestyle anymore? No, I definitely want to keep doing freestyle. I might buy a tiny whoop to freestyle without being scared of killing the drone, because those things are, nearly indestructible. But also I want to do freestyle with my 3-inch because I think they're two different things. And lastly, because I think flying freestyle and landing freestyle tricks, all of the things that I've learned from trying to be better at freestyle made me so much better at flying drones cinematically. I was able to fly my Cinewhoop indoors with reduced throttle while not having it bounce up and down all the time, which I think is great. And even more so, I've been able to keep this train in frame nicely and use my, albeit a little bit shallow knowledge of composition while I'm actually flying the drone. And I think that is great. So yeah, what can you expect in the future? Well, I want to keep practicing freestyle, and I think actually now it's going to give good content. Why? Because you can expect me to crash my drone, some heavy emotions, but also me to land, or well, you wouldn't really land them, but stick these tricks. And as I do so, I will teach you exactly what I'm doing to learn these tricks, starting with a trippy spin. And so you can watch that. But secondly, most importantly, since I started this whole drone journey wanting to fly cinematic drone shots, I would say, I'm going to start a new series starting an FPV drone business from scratch. I have, like I said, no prior experience. I don't even have a registration at the Chamber of Commerce, which is due in a month's time. And I'm going to bring you along on the journey, trying to get clients, getting better at my craft. I already have some things booked in the future for me to fly through, for example, an event or a sports facility. So look out for that one. If you have a plan of starting a drone business, please follow me, give me tips, say what I'm doing wrong. But also, if I'm doing stuff right, I hope that teaches you something. If you have dreams, just go for them. For now, that's all I have to say about my FPV journey so far. It's been amazing. I've been thinking about taking adventures in a very different way. Normally I would just go places, and now I'm thinking about how can I make it look good to make crazy videos about that. And I also like the fact that I get to watch back what I'm doing. So if my drone journey is helping you in any way, feel free to subscribe to this channel. It helps me a lot. The more subscribers I get to this channel, the more potential sponsors I can have in the future, allowing me to do crazier things that you can learn from. So feel free to subscribe and hit the like button for this video. Do you think my skills are okay for somebody who's done this for 6 months? Comment it down below. And if you want, keep watching, because this next video is going to show you what it was like only 1 month into my journey. For now, my name is Ori. See you next time. Bye.